so huge. Like, there is a place in this world that you are supposed to make a difference. And if you keep saying no, you're going to miss out on that opportunity, and the world's going to miss out on experiencing your gifts. Today, it's your birthday. Not sure what that means? Let us introduce you to this powerful concept in our community. We are Helene and Christina, and our mission is to empower, teach, and remind women to celebrate themselves. Combined, we have over 35 years' experience as therapists in private practice. Today, we come to you not as your therapist, but rather your friends in this life stage with you. Our podcast promises to talk about the hard or uncomfortable topics in a way to empower you, laugh along the way as part of our healing, and find joy in life. What sets us apart? We leave you with gifts each and every episode.
Now that we're friends, let's make this official. We would love to start your Thursday mornings, so make sure you follow the show wherever you're listening to us now and sign up for our free newsletter at yourbirthdaypodcast.com to receive the episode dropping on Thursdays in your inbox every week. Friends, turn up the volume because we promise today it's going to be a hell yes episode. We're talking about the gift of yes, and that yes can bring you joy. It can invite you to experience more in life. It can inform others how you are going to take care of yourself. And overall, simply saying yes can give you an it's your birthday life. So grab your beverage of choice, text your tribe if they need to hear this also, turn up the volume, and let's go. Okay, so if you're new to us, or if you need a reminder, I want to start off today with something that Christina has shared in past episodes. Christina had an amazing friend whose life was taken way too early. And Christina shared with us a beautiful gift that she received from her. And Christina, I'm hoping you could sprinkle in that amazing gift and that story for some of our new listeners.
Sure. First of all, my dog has decided that he needs to actively be part of this. So let me just make sure he stops knocking things. So I think the story you're thinking of is my beautiful friend, Sarah.
Yes.
Which is so ironic because literally yesterday I was thinking about her. Sarah was killed by a drunk driver several years ago, and it was a huge loss. And it was probably the first time I lost somebody my age and super close to me, which made it even harder. But it was a beautiful life cut short. The amazing thing was that Sarah had lived an entire lifetime in 30 years. And in those 30 years, she said yes to everything. Like, she was never afraid to try anything. She traveled all over the globe doing global semester, which actually was like semester and a half. It wasn't even a semester. You name it, she tried it. I remember her coming to the lake and she's like, I want to learn to water ski. And she did. She was like, I want to learn to tube. She did. Like, whatever she set her mind to, she tried it. And, I think the thing with a yes is that you're not going to be perfect at it the first time. And I'll never forget, like, Sarah literally drinking probably half the lake in the first time she skied, just like all of us do. And I remember her come out of it and her eyes were like huge. And she looks at me with like sheer terror. And I was like, that's everybody's first time. And she goes, oh, okay. And like instant grin. And she had the most radiant smile erupted on her face. And she was like, okay, let's try again. And like literally tried 10 times, drank the lake 9 of those. And then the 10th time got it, which is awesome. So yes, Sarah was the exemplary answer of yes.
I remember that story. And then fast forward to my story, I had a person that I had met younger in my life. And as I got to know this person, I would always say they lit up a room. Like, the word vibrant was the way I always described her. She was just vibrant, like in everything she did. And it was someone that and she wasn't like a big social media person, but whenever I saw what she did on social media, That was that word. She was vibrant. And her life also was cut short on this earth. And when I allowed myself to do some, I guess, like reading of like what people wrote about her, because there was a page that people were writing. And one person said one thing that they learned from this individual is that throughout life, what she will always remember about this woman is that she always said, yes, please.
Hmm.
So when I think about her life being vibrant, right, like in college, right, do you want to go here? Yes, please. Would you want to try this? Yes, please.
I
When I
love
look at her life and, the story of like traveling like Sarah, going to concerts, leaning into showing her family different things,
yeah.
it was yes, please. And since her loss of her life, I've kind of kept that in the back of my mind. And when we were talking about like some new episodes and titles, like my heart's just pounding. Like I said that. And I have tried to allow myself to practice, yes, please, where sometimes I would not allow myself to do things, right? It was me holding myself back. Like if someone's like, oh, do you want to meet up Saturday? And I'm like, oh, I've got laundry to do. I've got notes to catch up on. I've got this. And I would say no. I take a moment and a breath and I try to channel a little bit of this beautiful soul. And I'm practicing saying, yes, please.
I
So I think
love
I just want to have these two women that had such influence on yours and my life to gift the rest of the world from wherever they are now. Yes, and yes, please. And let's sprinkle some of that to our audience.
It's so interesting, like, my mind so, friends, if you don't know me, Helene creates these amazing, really thoughtful, well-planned out outlines, and I am a sabotager. I genuinely value what she does, and we use it as a guideline, but I'm the queen of reading them literally a minute before we log on, won't lie. And
Right. And I don't read them after I do it,
Pauline and
but it
I
does give me
are very
structure.
different. Yes.
Yes.
And you know what? It's also how we absolutely complement each other. So with me, the second we open the episode, my mind, like all the tabs just start opening in my brain, which is really fun. But I think, Helene poses a question. When's the last time you said yes to something that scared you and how did it change you? And so, friends, I just really want you to sit with that, put that in your mind. When's the last time you said yes to something that scared you and how did it change you? That's the question. So, I also think of going back to our first season, episode 4, which is pretty raw and not our best work, right? Our beginning episodes are never our best work because we're learning.
Right.
And the episode is, I think, the gift of your wrapping paper or figuring out your wrapping paper or something along those lines.
Mhm.
And I totally think of that episode of just like figuring out who you are. And when I think of that, I think like, what do you want your legacy to be? When people talk about you in years to come after you've passed and left this earth, like, what do you want your legacy to be? And what I love for these women is their legacy is a hell yes. Now, your friend was politer, yes, please. But I just love that. And I think I would love that to be my legacy, that people were like, yeah, she was vibrant. She was joyful. She was excited for life.
Right.
I love that.
And I
And
think
I
something else that someone else wrote is I guess this individual also said, like, when her time came, like, at her funeral, everyone were to wear vibrant colors, and
Mm,
it were to be a sea of colors.
mhm, mhm. I
So
love
it
it.
just goes back to, I think,
Everyone
and I
should wear glasses to mine. I want everybody in funky glasses. I'm not getting today, but that is my funky
and it's
glasses
it's
and
kind
funky
of beautiful, right? Like, I have a patient and she just was sharing recently that she lost someone, and this individual said and she was like she describes this woman as, like, really classy and sophisticated and Sophia Loren and just always dolled up, and there was an invitation to her celebration of life, and it's like a black tie event. It's like, hell yes, we're dressing up, we're celebrating, you're gonna
Oh,
feel beautiful, like put on the heels, put on this,
oh,
like that's how I guess this individual lived their life. Like she said, it was always a hell yes. I want to be beautiful. I want to, yeah. So I mean, if you whatever your yes please or hell yes is, if you know what it is and you start living life that way, I mean, just what you can experience and the honoring of yourself. So that's the gift I received, that I am practicing
I love that.
rewiring myself when it might be an easy, "No, I can't do that. I shouldn't do it. I don't have the time," to, "Yes, please. Yes, please."
You know, it's interesting because I am actually a pretty cautious person. I
Mhm.
mean, it wasn't until I was like 10, 11 years old that I would walk down the steps or up the steps alternating feet. And I remember my mom like trying to get me to do it, but it was a caution thing, like one
Sure.
step at a time, felt safe. And Ethan is a yes guy. Like he talks
Uh,
to anybody. He is super outgoing. He knows half the neighborhood. I know like five neighbors. He like if there's something to try, he is so game for it. And I'm always the one like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?"
right.
And I remember meeting him and he was like, "I love to scuba dive." And I was like, "Great. Hope you have friends to do that with."
Have fun with that.
But that's my go-to. And he was like, "Would you wanna learn to scuba dive?" And I was like, "I really like this guy. I really don't wanna go that deep into the ocean. I really like this guy."
Yep.
So, like, I sat there with it and I kind of ignored him, and he was like, "Hey, there's this scuba diving class coming up." And I was like, "I mean, I can swim, but I'm not a strong swimmer." And he's like, "You should take it. I'll pay for it." And I was like, "Okay." It was life altering.
So that's hysterical because I have a similar story. Go ahead.
It was so confidence building. I actually went in, could hold my breath. I was actually a medium to strong swimmer, like not the strongest in the class, but I was decent. I wasn't the one flailing at the end.
Right.
And I can tell you, our diving trips are some of the most incredible colors and scenery and landscape I've ever seen in my life. Like, the colors under the water are so vivid and just every shade you could dream of or imagine. I mean, it puts a Crayola box to shame. That's what I will tell you.
Breathtaking.
Yes. And so every so often, I still will be the curmudgeon of the house and be like, "I don't feel comfortable with that." And he's like, "Scuba diving?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, yes. I'm
He
scared."
helps you
Like, "You're
channel your yes.
He
Oh,
does, and he's so good at it, and he's so brave, and he doesn't do it perfect every time. I still remember him wearing they're like flyboarding shoes or something. It hooks onto the back of a jet ski,
right.
like you fly in the air, and it scared the bejeebies out of me, but he was like, "I wanna try it." And so he did, and, the first couple times he, like, literally flopped flat on his face.
Mhm.
But the 3rd or 4th time he had it, and he was rocking it, and he was, like, doing flips and, like, all this stuff, and I was like, "Whoa." Yeah, so
And I
he
think when you
pushes.
have, yeah, and when you have the vision of what you want to do and you have the level of forgiveness, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I know we have an episode about like forgiving yourself and not being perfect, that you get to experience the yes. And the yes can be so much more than just being like yes to an agreement to do something. It can open up your mindset, it can give you courage, it can build trust, and I'm like you, I am very cautious, careful with, like, most things in life. I am not a risk taker, but yet I look back at moments when I have done a yes, and sometimes, right, for whatever reason, it could be something that's bigger, like, I don't like going into the beach, like, I don't like going in the ocean water at all, like, love you, Steven Spielberg, but Jaws killed it for me as a kid. Like, just don't do that. And yet, a similar story, moved to Fort Myers, and we had the opportunity to learn how to dive. And Brian's like, "Do you wanna do this?" And I was like, "Hell no." P.S. I did night diving. I've gone down to 95 feet.
Yeah.
And that story of, like, the fact that I do it, like, my kids are like, "There's no way." And they got to see a part of me, or we went to Glacier Park and we did, like, a crazy, like, you have to go over the glacier and do really hard things, or, the story that we shared about, going tubing or going down the Duckies. Like, practicing the yes has opened up opportunities, and it helps me get in connection with parts of me that I never thought would exist.
Yeah.
I think also when you have other people around you who are more encouraging, yeser at doing a yes, it
Mhm.
helps create a space that it is possible. So find your yes person, whether it's my good girlfriend, Ethan, Sarah. Like, if you don't have it within yourself, but you have those yes people, like,
Mhm.
build that tribe also.
Yeah. I think too, I don't think we would be in Minnesota if it wasn't for him.
Mhm.
Because, like, when we realized his business was selling and we realized, like, this was our opportunity to go,
Right.
I remember saying to him, like, "I don't want you to feel pushed to go to Minnesota. Like, Minnesota's home for me, but it's not for you, and I am perfectly content here in Fort Myers. Like, I'm okay. Is it, for me, my ideal place to live? It wasn't, but, like, our kids were thriving, we were thriving. I was okay, and we had a good group of friends, and I was content."
Right.
And so a big part of me was hoping he would say, "You know what? Let's just stay. We have a nice house. We're doing fine. Let's stay." And he looked at me and he's like, "No, this has been our dream since before we married.
Wow.
Why would we give it up when we have the green light to go?" And I was like, "Oh."
Boom. I see your face.
Like, I really thought, like, you grew up in Florida, kid, like, I am staying and I'm okay, and this Midwest liberal girl is gonna do it. And he was like, "Mm-mm, we're out of here." And, he's a flirty and conservative boy.
Right.
We are
But
very
he
different.
honored that space from before you got married. He remembered that yes.
Mhm.
Wow.
He did. And so he pushed us. He was like, "This is not optional. We're doing it." Ironically, as I've discussed in previous episodes, my daughter blamed me. And maybe she'll listen to this episode. She would love this episode because their favorite movie is the Yes Day movie where the parents say yes to everything.
Ah,
And they constantly ask me for a yes day, and I
right,
constantly say to them, "I can't afford a yes day with you 2." I'm like, "Holy cow.
right.
Buy out Mall of America. Let's get real here." So, I will give them yes moments, but we don't have yes days.
That's why it's a movie.
Right, that's why it's a movie.
That's why it's a
Yeah,
movie.
maybe Hollywood will pick us up to do it yes day. Or, all the kid YouTubes where the parents, like, go in and do these shopping trips, and I was like, "You need to understand that people pay them to do this. We
Right,
don't pay."
it's not real.
Right. Yeah.
But I
So
think you're not used to doing a yes, and, like, sometimes in my office, I will find I've had the experience where people come in and they either have lost temporarily a part of themselves, or they have a vision of what they wanna do. Like, one example was one individual that they were very active, and due to health issues, they had become more stagnant, more restful. And yet, as their health started getting stronger, healthier, more back than they were, they wanted to start saying yes to living like an exercise, vibrant life. But the idea of it was overwhelming and scary. So I said, well, you went from black to white, kind of say, like you're doing it all to you had to do nothing and rest and restore. But now you want to start again. You want to start saying yes to your body. We've worked through some of the fear, we've worked through the hesitation. But the idea of like honoring the yes, didn't know how to do. So I said, what if we just do it short? Now, for someone who's like, I want to go big or go home, this idea was a little overwhelming, but it did create traction and invite growth. So for a couple of women who, I've had in the office, for example, they're like, I want to get more motivated, or I'm in a season of life where my body and I'm just tired. And the idea of doing something and saying yes, like I get to the office, then after work, I'm going to go for a walk or I'm going to go for a run and I'm going to say yes, but I keep saying no for whatever reason. So, well, let's stop judging it. But what if you just say the yes and you just walk one mailbox? And then the next day, you choose to go to the second mailbox.
Mm.
And the next day, you're going to put on your sneakers and you're going to say yes and maybe try to go for the third. Just keep saying yes without judgment, but just keep saying yes, even if it's small steps of growth. And then that can also lead to self confidence, to supporting yourself, opening the door that you might see a neighbor and be like, hey, I see you walking a couple of times during the last week. Will you walk with me? I would love to be an accountability partner. So it doesn't have to be big, your yes. It just has to be.
Well, and you can start with a little bit of courage,
Mhm.
you know? It doesn't need to be a lot. But every step you take, you're building your courage to do more. It's interesting. I have several friends who do Pilates, and I'm not the most coordinated of individuals. Athleticism is not my gift, which is fine. But they do the reformers one, and I've always been like cautious to try new things when it comes to exercise. I'm a creature of habit. And we had a new Pilates studio open up here, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. What do I have to lose?
Right.
Wind up the cords and I walk out. And
Right. But I'm going to say yes.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's been amazing. Like, I literally walked out of the first class and I was like, "This isn't that off from bar, and you learned bar, and you did phenomenal at bar. So
Mhm.
you can do this."
Right.
And so I have really gotten into it. I'm already finding my favorite instructors, like, all, and I just love it. And that 40 minutes literally goes by in a blink of an eye. Like, she's like, "Okay, we're stretching." And I was like, "What?
Where to go?
How?" It is like the fastest 40 minutes of my day.
And it all started with saying a yes.
Yeah, to trying it. Just try it.
Just try
And if you haven't tried pickleball, I mean, Helene and I are all about you trying that.
it.
Let's get real. And I remember when Helene was like super nervous to go try pickleball, and I was like,
Yeah.
"You have to play. You have to play. You have to play." Right.
Yes.
And now she's an addict in the
And
best.
And I still have moments of yeses, right? Like, I hadn't played in a while, and my husband is better than me, so everyone, like, kinda where we go play, they've kind of figured out who we are. Like, they know us as a couple at this point, you get to know people, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're playing, but, like, where'd your husband go?" I'm like, "Oh, he broke up with me," because 'cause he'll go to, like, the 3.5s after a couple of games, and last Saturday, I've met some, like, really incredible people, and this woman's like, "Let's play one more game," and then she had to leave. And there was these 2 other individuals, and they're good, and I clearly was gonna be probably the weaker link. And but I said yes. I said, "Okay, yes, I'll do it." And even with the yes, I had when you say yes, you may have to take a moment to really allow yourself to get in connection with the yes.
Mhm.
Because I said, "Yes, please," right? I was channeling my yes, please. I'll go on the court. And I was stiff as anything. I was in my head. My partner, who's really good, I played with him before, he's like, take a breath. He's like, you're working way too hard. The other woman who I love, she's like, Helene, you've got an arm. Like, come at me. Like, they're all like encouraging me on to just be. I wasn't fully in my yes. But then when other people around you notice that you want to have your yes, it it ignites that you can honor it. So sometimes if you say yes and you're not fully in your yes, and I just want to give that gift. If someone else says, hey, I know you said you wanted to do this, but you're not fully present, It's kinda like that grandma gene. Just say thank you and
Mhm.
take a moment to get in connection.
I'm literally getting verklempt.
Oh,
Uh,
oh, okay. And we're not going on a script, guys. Like, my script is on
no,
the wall because that's what I do, but I'm not following it today. So tell me.
because you know what? In this world, it is so easy to judge and criticize other people, not walking in their shoes, not knowing their experience. And I love opportunities where I get to encourage a random person. And like, there is no greater momentum to me than somebody who doesn't know me cheering me on, right? Like, my family should cheer me on. They love me, they adore me. It's kind of like when parents come in with their kids and they're like, "Oh, we say the same thing to our kid." I'm like, "Yeah, but I have a doctor before my name, but at home I'm an idiot, so don't feel bad." But,
Same.
I just
Not talking.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love when I see somebody trying something, doing something, and you can just give them a hell yes, or you've got this, or I believe in you. Like, there is no greater motivator, I find, than a stranger encouraging me. And
Mhm.
especially when you're trying a new sport or activity, oh, this dog, then it's just incredible. Absolutely incredible to have that feeling of somebody saying, "You got this." And I don't know about you, but my courage soars. Like,
Absolutely.
it is just amazing.
So I think the gift is really twofold now that you're saying that. And I love that, Christina. Thank you. The gift is that say yes, please, or say hell yes, depending who you are. And then you can give the yes to someone else. And when you're saying that, I remember so when I turned 40, I said to my girlfriend, I think I was going to do like, I want to see if I could do a marathon, right? Like it was just on my list. And we did it. And then we did a second one.
Wow.
And I know. But and then I'm done. And then I'm done doing it, right? Like, I was like, "Okay, I'm done." And it was like, I don't know, like, mile, like, whatever, like, 22, 23, and the 2 people I was with, like, we had had the conversation beforehand. It's a little bit like therapy, like, if you're running with someone potentially in a marathon, and one of you will, like, need to take a break, like, how are you gonna handle that? Are you gonna stop? Are you gonna go? Like, whatever. So, I was going, the 2 of them because I'm super slow, but there's something about, like, towards the end of a run that I just, like, can't get up because I'm just like, "We're almost fucking done."
Right. I just want this to be
Like,
over.
I won't stop to go to the bathroom during a marathon, like, I'm like, "Oh, I just got done." And, like, I did, I was, like, kicking up. In fact, like, Ryan was, like, texting me, so he was like, "What are you doing?" Because he was tracking me. He's like, "You're actually going kinda fast," which I'm telling you, I'm like snail space. But there's people like, "Yes, you got this, keep going." And it does, it just ignites you. It's like, "Yes, please, let's go." So take the yes for you and pass it on. It's that trickle effect like Christina always talks about. Like your yes impacts others around you and don't hold back of sharing that yes with others.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. You know, interestingly, just kind of a side story is I recently hosted a wedding shower for my little cousin who's really like my nephew's soon to be wife, like literally in a week. They're going to be married. But I have not really hosted people at this house. I don't know why. I think because there's a lot of stairs coming into it and like my dad always complains about the stairs, which it's hard for him at 89. I get that. Or, just different things. I haven't. And so my cousin came to me and she was like, "Would you consider hosting a shower for Crean?" And I was like, "Yeah, Jen, I will. I totally will." And it was like a hell yes. And then Jen and I had a fucking blast planning it, decorations, food, the whole 9 yards. Like, we had so much fun together. We even made giant crepe paper flowers. Like, they are so fun.
Oh,
I know, I know. It was so cool. And so, anyway, that was one of my big yes moments, and it was just a delightful afternoon. Like, she and Dan made some food, I made some food. It just, like, came together so easy,
right.
and Svea had remembered, like, how much we had hosted parties in Florida, and she's like, Mom, I love when we have parties. Like, we need to have more parties. And I was like, you know what? You're right. We do. Like, this is a part of who we are. And so, I said, we are going to make a cognizant effort to have more parties.
So that's the trickle effect. Like saying yes reignited or reintroduced a part of your family like space or like it got you back in reconnection of how you were and you
Mm.
were inviting more yeses. I love that. Go
It was so
Savea.
much fun. Yes. Yes. So, friends, this episode, like, it's not even just a hell yeah, it's a fucking hell yeah. Like, let's make this happen. Get out of your comfort zone, put yourself out there because you're going to find things that you really love about yourself. And, I go back to our first episode that we were recording, and Helene knew without a doubt she wanted to do this podcast. She believed in It's Your Birthday. But when we hit record, she choked
Huge.
literally and figuratively and just shut down and froze.
Yep.
And I hit the off button and said, you got 12 hours to figure this out. See you tomorrow morning. And I wasn't trying to be mean to her or I wasn't mad at her.
Nope.
It was me saying, I believe in you and I know you can do it. And this is the way I'm dishing courage on you. And
Mhm.
now it's your job to do your work in your head so that you can get yourself there. And that morning, next morning, we recorded and she was scared as hell,
Yes.
probably wanted to pee her pants, won't lie. And she did it.
Yeah.
And then we kept doing it. And with every episode, I firmly believe we're getting better, and we'll look back at this episode one day and be like, oh gosh, what was wrong with us? But that's part of growth and evolution. Like every human evolves. And part of that is saying yes to things that feel scary.
Because the no, right? If I would have said, not only did I just say no in that moment, but if I would have kept with the no, I wouldn't have honored the vision that we had on that beach years prior. I would have said no to my curiosity. I would have
Right.
said no to my creativity. I would have said no to my commitment to you. Like the no was going to be so much bigger than that moment of yes, because the initial yes was only a moment, but I made it so big. But when
Right.
you honor that yes, it can turn huge. It's
Right.
just starting,
In a
like you said.
good way. In a good
Right.
way.
It's just like you going back to starting Pilates. I want to try it. Am I a little nervous? Maybe. Am I kind of sure how this is going to go? I'm not sure, but I'm going to say yes. And now it invited this whole part into your life, kind of like It's Your Birthday has invited a part into our life. Like it just takes that moment of getting back into connection because what I find is that when you don't say yes, there's already that part of you that wants to. That's the thing, right?
Mm.
Like if my friends would be like, hey, do you want to meet Saturday or do this? And I was like, no, like I've got 10,000 other things. There already was a little bit of a yes in me, and I would muzzle it or I would discard it. So it goes back to having that it's your birthday moment and honoring the initial yes that already existed within you, possibly.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think going back to that, if your go-to answer, and it still is my default answer, friends, but I feel the yes person is growing on my shoulder.
Mhm.
But the opposite of it, if you're always saying no, is fear, that perfectionism. I'm the queen of perfectionism.
Mhm.
And doubt. Well, you know what? Are you really living life to the fullest? Are you? I mean, that's my question. Are you living your life to the fullest if you're needing to do everything perfect and live so rigidly? What
Right.
opportunities are you missing out on? Are you going to leave your life sitting there? I mean, I can't tell you how many people I work with in their 60s and 70s and who've lived this like very perfectionistic, rulistic life, and they're sitting there with regret because their life really never became something. And it's
Mhm.
so sad to me. And I think all the time. I literally woke up this morning thinking about you get one life to live. That's all you get. One. We only get one.
Mhm.
Like, don't miss out on opportunities.
And that's been showing up so much in my office. Like, I just don't and I don't know whether it's the energy outwards, the energy that they're channeling inwards, but when you say that again, we get one life, right? It's like, I think Keanu Reeves had a quote one day. He's like, "Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, we're never getting out of here alive. Like, none of us we're not getting out of here alive. We have one chance to
Way
do that."
out.
Right. And that is a really powerful invitation to say yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please, or hell yes, or fuck yes, whatever that looks like.
And I'm not saying, like, I do believe we need to have some discernment. Like, people have come to me with ideas or offers, like, being a serialpreneur, as I've been dubbed. I have people come to me all the time with business offers or business ideas or business concepts. And I'm very selective about what I want to encourage and support, primarily because I don't have a lot of extra time in my life. And so the time that I do have is very treasured.
What?
I want to be very cognizant of how I use that. So I'm not I'm not against the word no, but if we're always saying no, we stay small and we don't get to enjoy this incredible world that we get to be a part of creating and we get to be a part of enjoying
And influencing.
and influencing. Like, that's just so huge. Like, there is a place in this world that you are supposed to make a difference. And if you keep saying no, you're going to miss out on that opportunity, and the world's going to miss out on experiencing your gifts.
It's like if you've
That's
ever watched A Call to Courage. I always encourage my couples to watch A Call to Courage. If you're not familiar with Brene Brown, A Call to Courage is really powerful to watch the Netflix special. And at the end of it, and it's really talking about vulnerability. But at the very end, when it's about to close, she does say that. Do you want to get to the end of your life and realize you never showed up?
right.
Like, just let that sit within you. And you don't have to push forward another 10, 20, 30, 50 years. You can make it right now in these next 24 hours. How
You
do I
can.
want to show up in these next 24 hours? Are there opportunities and invitations to say yes? And I'm holding myself back. But
And
it
I
goes back to what Christina was just saying. Do I want to get to the end of my life and in that last breath,
and I
realize I can fully show up?
mm, I just can't even imagine that being my final thought. Like, that would fucking suck. I'm just going to say it. I want, and similar to how we opened it, you want the final party you have, even though you're not there, is your funeral and, or your life celebration or however you title it.
Right.
And don't you want it to be a blaze of glory of just like, hell yeah, what a human, what an incredible person. I want it to be filled with joy. I tell my kids all the time, like, your last moment is not going to be dumping me in the ground. Like, do something fun, celebrate. Go take me somewhere and illegally throw my ashes so it's exciting. Like, I don't know. Just do something fun.
Right.
Don't
Yeah.
sit there somber weeping. And for me, it's also my religious beliefs that I don't believe I'm here anymore. So, why are you feeling so sad when I'm living my best in my world? And, Helene and I've talked about grief. We get grief. Don't get us wrong. And I do believe that people need to grieve. And I fully anticipate my family will grieve and they better because I'm damn worth it. Just kidding. So, anyway, getting back to yes, because I always take us off track. I think the questions in determining if you want to say yes to somebody or to something is this event, this activity, this person aligned with who I am or who I want to become? Will this thing that you're going to do, and I'm saying you're going to do it because I want you to believe you will, and I want you to do it.
Right.
Does it stretch or grow me?
Yeah.
Is it going to challenge me in a way that I am going to be a better person? Maybe it's a fear of applying for a job. Friend, stop the podcast right now, pull up that application, and get it done.
Right.
We
Yes.
believe in you. And then turn it on again. And you're going to hear right now me saying, hell yeah, way to go.
Woo! Love it.
And
Say
Emma,
that again. Wait, wait. I want to stop. Now I'm interrupting you. If there is something in your life right now, whether it's applying for a job, applying to grad school, asking someone out on a date, saying yes to a class, if there's something in your life that is a no, but you want it to be a yes, stop right now. Do the yes. Ask the person out. Send the application. Go put on the dress that you're not sure you're going to look okay in and say hell yes to it. And then come back and we're cheering you on. Okay. I had to do that. Like, what a gift.
yeah. And what is blocking you? What is making you want to say no? Is it your fear or is it wisdom? I mean, if it's wisdom because, you know, I don't know, somebody's
It doesn't
asking you
align with your
something.
values. It's not
Yeah,
where you want to put your energy. It's
right,
compromising a part of who you really are to be
right.
accepted. Yes, those can be an absolute no. But if
But
it's a little bit of fear, you could push through fear. Fear is only a moment until you do it.
yeah,
Yes, on the other side of the fear.
100%. And you can be a yes person with boundaries. Like I said, I have people all the time bringing me business ideas and concepts and wanting my support, and I have boundaries on it.
Sure.
So, friends, when you can learn to say yes to yourself, the world opens when you try new things. And so, this episode is so near and dear to both Helene's and my heart. We are passionate about it. If you couldn't tell in this episode, like we get super excited about this
I'm fired up.
because when you can say yes, you're building trust in yourself, you're building respect, you're building confidence, as we've talked about in previous episodes. So look for your next yes opportunity in life because we are here for you to encourage you and cheer you on. And we would love if you wandered to our social media and shared moments where you said hell yes to you, to living life, to trying something new. And as always, if you found this helpful, share it as soon as you are done listening to it. Broadcast it out to your friends, broadcast it on your social, link us, hashtag us, because we would be so grateful if you left a positive review wherever you listen to us. Exciting things are coming up, so we strongly encourage you to join our newsletter at yourbirthdaypodcast.com. Super easy. Go in there, toss us your email, and we promise to give you gifts every Thursday. And find us on social. We are on Insta, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube. You can come see the videos and all of our real faces. And don't forget, Helene and I do Monday Gifts from the Couch. Until next week, happy birthday, friends.